Hey guys, we're back for episode 5 of Man's Glory podcast. Today we are discussing marriage, God's blueprint to a successful marriage. I guess we gonna see. Y'all know I'm not married. We go through this every episode, so we're gonna let Miss Rita Denise handle this one. I guess.
Okay, marriage. You said the blueprint to being marriage?
Yeah. Some advice, some tips for those of us who don't have a man, who want to be married, the waiting of the whole thing.
Well, first of all, and I'm going to always say, God has to be the head of your marriage. If he's not, that's your business. I'm telling you how mine thrive and works. And with that being said, you have to reason, you have to compromise. One person can't just say, this the law and that's it. That is not what a marriage is. I don't live in a dictatorship home. I live in a marriage. And that when two people come together, decide to make babies and raise children. And for a successful marriage, first God, loving, respecting, and being honest with one another, whatever it is. And so that's my thing on it. Yes, you will have arguments because a person, whether it's man or woman, sit there and the man say this and the woman never say a thing, whether she disagree with it or not, and the woman says and the man vice versa. That's not being true and honest. Because how you going to get to know one another? First of all, you come from two different families and you decide to merge your family together as one unit. So there's two different personalities that has to touch and agree and reason how you do things,
So what is it saying? Man is the head, but the woman is the neck. The neck can't turn out the head. So your man is your head outside, but that's after you run a relationship. I'm just playing.
First of all,
I'm just joking. I'm just playing.
I had never heard that until James and I went to some part of Illinois, and it was with the Russians.
The people say it's Illinois. The South people put the S in it.
Well, whatever it is, it was upstate, up north.
Illinois.
And this company that he was driving with, they had signed on to, and he brought his wife with him. They like, y'all team driving? Of course not. And so he was like, my wife, I take my wife with me. So he said, well, just like my uncle said, he the head, but my auntie is the neck, and the head can't turn without the neck. I had never heard it before.
I have.
Well, that was the first thing I had ever heard. And I thought it was funny. James then, but it was funny to me. But you have to realize that man is the head. And when you realize that and be into subjection unto your head, everything works better. Now, we have to both be in a subjection to one another. But your husband is the head of you. And if he is following God, he's going to do what's right when it comes to his wife.
The key statement in that is if he is following God.
Because it said man is the head, don't mean, okay, you the head, and you go out there and tell me, well, go shoot so-and-so, or go slap so-and-so, or go sell your body because he choose not to work. No.
Because furthermore, too, if man did not need woman, God would not have given Adam a helpmate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we understand that I'm not married. I'm going to say it probably every episode. I'm not in a relationship or any of the sort. So my perspective is somebody who grew up around 4 marriages and desires to be married. Whereas Rita's is, she already in this thing. 30 years. How long you been married? Some plus years, 20 plus years into this thing.
No,
I'm 30.
27 years. Be 28 this year.
Okay, so you do know. She do know how long she been married.
I didn't say I didn't know, but go ahead.
So for me, I desire to be married. And I feel, like I said in the first episode, I come from 2 very dominant, strong-willed, headstrong individuals. My mother and my father. They are both leaders. And people, or I'll say guys specifically, women have said certain things too, but guys specifically have said that I make it hard for them. Mm-hmm. But then also, I am the way I am because of what my parents poured into me. I am who I am, and I see what I see and want what I want because of the parents that I had who were raised by the parents that they had. And I grew up around 3 sets of grandparents and my parents. I saw the pros and the cons of their relationships. And I can say my biggest my biggest challenge when it comes to a marriage, whenever that time comes, is going to be the what is it? It just went right out my mind.
Listen to your man.
No,
That's a joke.
that's not funny.
Well, what?
What is it? Compromising.
Okay.
I can compromise on a lot of things. Something I'm not willing to compromise on is how that money gonna work. That's my, and Rita tell you, I think you said in another episode where I was dating this guy, he was just like, he was gonna have this bank account that I wouldn't have access to. Who you talking to? Because there's no way you think you're gonna be married to me and you have an account that I don't have access to.
Did he actually say you weren't gonna have access to it?
What his statement was,
Mm-hmm.
let me be particular.
Right.
His statement was that there's no problem with us, him putting his name on my accounts and my name going on his accounts, and no, that's not what he said. He said with us there's no problem with us starting a joint account because I already have X amount of accounts. He has. He said there's no problem with us starting a joint account, but my name does not have to go on his account that he already has because it's his. And I said, why you get married? Because it said 1 and 2 come together. Leave mother and father and cling. You become one. So what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. I don't get that whole I can have an account without you. So my mom proceeds to tell me, I'll let you tell it.
Well, what I said to her was, there's nothing wrong with him having a separate account as long as you have access to it. Because people are raised different and you just can't force your way on a person. You know what worked for your parents. So therefore, if husband wants to have a separate account, and you got a separate account, you got a big account, because he might want to say, well, I might want to go buy this is for you or something for himself, but you should have access to it. Now, I mean, you just going to go in there and spend up everything out of it. The problem comes when you keeping secrets account that no one knows about.
Well, that was another issue that I had too, because I knew the dynamic of his parents. And I knew how they were as far as the relationship of marriage and finance. And I was just like, see, you trying to say you don't want to be a part of something, but it sounds like you trying to bring that's something you don't like up until I didn't like that. So I guess too, I kind of was biased when I already had a predestined thought, because I was just like, because that sounded like we're gonna fall in that same hole with your parent, and I don't like that. So that's gonna be which I don't mind. I'm not gonna say that I do mind, because if we talking about that person specifically, I have way more bank accounts than you. And if I'm willing to put your name on all my accounts and you going to tell me you going to have one that my name won't be on? No. And I get the whole you being able to, what if you want to go surprise me with something? Who finna sit there checking all them accounts all day, every day? I'm not finna do that. So I don't understand the purpose of me not being able to have my name on an account. Now, when it comes to my business accounts, the 2 businesses that I have with Rita, ain't nobody name on no account but mine and my mother.
And that's where it's going to stay.
And it's not going to change. That business that I have with my baby brother, nobody names on that account but mine and his. We have a business decision to make. It's made between Jasmine Sade and James Lee III. I don't care nothing about him being married or whatever the case is. She has no say-so over that J Styles Fitness bank account. Vice versa for my future husband. You have no say-so over something that's between myself and my brother. Now, if he and I having a conversation and he goes to talk to his wife about it and I go talk to my husband, still at the end of the day, that decision's with me and my brother. I don't care. The rest of my business accounts, I am sole 100% ownership for 3 of them. His name not one of those either, unless he become partnership.
Okay, I'll take one. Now, this is another thing people need to understand.
If he not married, if he's not a partner, he don't get no.
Once you marry a person, whether they name on it or not, baby, they got access to it. And that's what, I don't know what this thing is. Oh, this was my house before I got married.
That ain't right.
Once you marry that person, that house is theirs. Mm-hmm. Place, okay, for instance, try to sell a house and you got a husband and you got a wife. They gonna act. That person got to get agreements to it. So that's what people got to realize. I don't care what you got. You ain't signed no prenup, baby. No, you cannot sell that house. That's just like me, where I work at. If I want to get some money from my job, James has to sign off on it. out of my 401k because he's my spouse. If I decide I'm going to divorce him, I have to buy James out. Because he has
401k?
Yes.
I'm not getting married.
Because he has a right to my money. This government. Because he has a right to my pension. You just can't. So why would I be been married to this guy 27 years? Bam, here I am thinking the grass is green over there. I got to divorce him, give him half of my money, and I'm over here broke. That ain't happening. So people need to understand before they think they can dip in and dip out. And yes, I know what I'm talking about because I know where I work at and I know how he rolls. So hey, all this, So now, if you want to keep something separate from your honey, you sign a prenup agreement. But I'm not signing now. You want to marry me?
Because why? If you are agreeing to marry somebody, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go ahead.
If you are agreeing to marry somebody, that means you putting yourself aside. That person putting themselves aside. Right. And they come together as one unit. One. That means every decision is made together. Every move you make is made together. Why would you get a prenup? What does money have to do with anything? What are you afraid of? But and this coming from my end because I don't believe in divorce. If you say I do to me, you stuck in this thing. And if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the Bible says to death do a part. Death gonna do you in if you think you finna leave me. Nah.
So you better dread.
Book it. What you say? Because you're not. I'm sorry. What? But that's the thing too. You have to be willing. And people, I've heard people say marriage ain't what it used to be, and people grow apart. Wow. Again, if God is at the forefront. Not what y'all say, I love God. If God is actually at the forefront, that's not even a divorce is not even a thought. Right. If you get married for the right reasons. Furthermore, like I said in the previous video, you should be growing and bettering yourself individually. That person be doing the same thing, and y'all should also be putting that same amount of energy and growing and developing your relationship with God and your marriage in God. Then you have no problem for a divorce. If you are, everything can be worked on, but you got to commit for it to be fixed. But it's certain conversations you should have before you get married. Right. And this comes from a person who only dates to be married. And I'm not married. But I got great examples. Did I like everything my parents do? No. Everything my grandparents did? No. But then also, I have a drawing board to pull from. Take the good that I want, get rid of the bad I don't. And that's just what it is. So.
I have a perfect example. So when, James was preaching, even at the visits to churches that he was asked to come preach at, and he told them. He said, I told my wife, you get married, you're going to pack a suitcase, you might as well pack two. He said, I'm going to beat you over to mama's house. So my thing is, well, why would I go to mama's house? And I know that's where you think I'm at.
Stop it.
But in other words, you ain't going nowhere. We can work it out. And I'm going to say this, I remember as James and I had a disagreement, I'd say, in the vehicle. And the kids was in there. And Jazz, like, when he got out, he like, Mom, you crazy. I would not let him talk to me like that. And so, my thing was, and I didn't say anything to her, I don't know. But I may have, because the stronger one have to hush. But I told, say something to me. Yeah. But
after we got home.
Yeah, but I told my husband what his daughter said. So, and he apologized for how, we were acting, how he was acting. But anyway, so and I told him not long ago, Jazz and I had a conversation, and I told her that some things I suffered, but I won the war. Because you have to learn, you don't disagree, but somebody got to learn how to shut up, and you got to realize, okay, well, I'm wrong on this, or I'm right on that. And I said that to say, yes, we had arguments young in our relationship, probably about nothing, but we never went to bed upset. We never not slept in the same bed together. That's what people mess up. You get mad, you jump out the bed. For what? You allow Satan and thoughts to get in your head. What you getting out the bed for? You done got that mad at your spouse. Lay there and pout.
Which is so funny. Before I went out of town last week, last week, I had this conversation with a guy that I talk to every now and then. And so I was bringing up that same example about something my dad did, and the moment he got something, I said, it couldn't be me. I said, I wouldn't let nobody talk to me like that. And I'm a daddy's girl. I am crazy about my father. He can, I was going to tell you, say he can do no wrong in my eyes. That's not true. But my dad, like, I love my daddy. Hands down. I fight behind my daddy before I fight behind my mom, because my mom got a mouth. But that I did not like. Because my daddy, something I told him that too about my grandparents. Sometimes he would talk to my grandparents like they his kids, and I don't like that. And so, not in a disrespectful way, but just like he the hit.
Like he
just,
dad.
Yeah, he ain't don't nobody else say nothing. That's how my daddy is. And so I brought that up to a guy that I was on the phone with. He was like, "That's your problem." He said, "I wanted your mama like you." I said, "Where you think I come from?" And that was me being smart because you tried it. But he was just like, first of all, you were out of line to even get into your parents' marriage. I said, first of all, my parents didn't keep anything from me and my sibling. Let's be very clear. I said, but also my parents did not fight. They didn't do anything disrespectful in front of us. If they had a disagreement, 9 times out of 10, my mom would shut up. Now, whatever happened after that, that was back there in the bedroom in the back of the house on their own. And I'm pretty sure she put her hands on. I'm just playing. But all that was changed. All that was changed after the fact. So I'm just like, for me, but my point to tell him was, I realized, and it probably took like a year later, and I was just like, one, that comes with growth. 2, it's your job to be the spouse. Number 3, if that's a God-fearing man, God gonna get him. He ain't gotta do that. Because eventually, what he came back and did?
Apologize.
Oh, okay. Because you knew you was wrong. Now, that guy tried to say, like, I was interfering, this, that, and third, blah, blah, because his whole idea was, he asked me, did I want a submissive man or a dominant man? I said, a dominant man, you supposed to be the head. No, you don't. You want a submissive man because you want to be the dude in the relationship.
He's not going to check out.
He's also misogynistic, but that's not here nor there.
That Negro.
My whole thing with that is, I am a very headstrong woman. I'm very much aggressive. I do everything myself. I have no problem admitting that I'm aggressive. I'm strong-minded, and I have no problem doing everything myself. But and also, I had great examples of what a wife is and what a wife does. But you're not stupid.
You better say it.
The thing is, I would be submissive to the man of God that was called to be my husband. I'm not going to submit to you, and you don't deserve the right to be submissive, sir. Let's be very clear. But that's nothing too with the whole level of respect that you should have when you're in a relationship. Now, this is something that really can talk to on the marriage side. Like I said, I'm not married. So with me, even when I'm dating a guy, I don't care how lethal my mouth is, I would never disrespect the person I'm in a relationship with like that. Because like something that annoys me is with females now. Y'all can say the most, and I'm saying y'all because I don't do it. You women, you females, can say the most lethal and disrespectful and degrading and demanding, trying to take somebody's manhood when you come after him, which is crazy because if you're supposed to be with this person, you say you love this person, that's how you talk to some. Nobody wants to wife that, and I don't care if he's not a man. Leave, because why would you say something? You like, and I heard a guy on he and I were on live on TikTok, and he said women. He said, we can say stuff. He said, men can say stuff. He said, but women, y'all say whatever y'all saying to go for the jugular. And I agree with him 100% because it's crazy to me how we do that. But you can't do that in a marriage because you can in a relationship. Marriage is, that's not, I don't know.
Okay. I had a thought. What would you say again that I can come in on? Because you weren't married?
The way you talking to him, respect?
Yeah, maybe. Well, in a relationship, you have to respect the person. And I agree with how, and I used to say this to my cousin and people that I talk to. Women, we are lethal. But the Bible is a scripture there about a scorned woman. But we are lethal. We will say things to a man, and they wouldn't dare say to us, not a man, you know. And so, and that, she's right, you don't need to be saying, I know what I was going to say. I learned from people because when I got married, well, before we got married, I had my house. Maybe a year or so, James and I got married. But I used to hear people say, well, I tell them to get out. And you hear men saying, you know, they wasn't going to move in with a woman because the first thing they said, get out. So that was something. No, because it's ours. And if you love this person, y'all done got married, how you going to tell me to get out? Or a vehicle, get my keys. No, these are our things. And I remember he was like, when he first got that Tundra, and my husband was down in Jackson, called me. He wanted a red one because red is my favorite color. Baby, they wanted me. They wanted the children and a car and a down payment. So that was not the pay. That's just how much they wanted. He went right over here in Greenville, and I was on the job. He called me, baby, what's your Social Security number? Of course, I know his by heart, but he don't know mine.
Yeah, man.
And they just said, whatever you want, they gave him to on the lot. But somebody asked him, when you go to work, now he drive a truck, do you take your truck keys with you? For what? Because there's not one vehicle in my yard, including our kids, that I cannot drive and don't have keys to. So how is it your wife and she can't get in? Baby, no.
Same thing with the bank account.
We work. We pay for this here. It ain't no mine out. Now you may say, well, this my wife's car or this my husband's car. But you gonna mean tell me you can't get in it?
They give you 2 sets of keys for a reason. Nah.
Come on, people, let's come together. Marriage is togetherness, not divided and separated, because a house divided will not stand. You got to be together on the same card, on the same things, thriving the same way. That's my belief in that. You know, when they say love conquers all, it does. But loving in the right way. I love you enough to tell you what's right. I remember my mom and James, we was coming somewhere, we was saying something. I told my mom, I told James, did you say that about his mama? Don't be talking about James' mama. What if he say something about me? And I said to my mother, it was the truth. I don't care. You know.
Pause. What'd you say about my grandma?
Something that was truthful. I don't remember what it was, but whatever it was, my mama told
Mind
me.
your mouth about my grandma.
What, baby, the truth shall make you free.
Mind your mouth
But I
about my
said
grandma.
all that to say you have to be honest. Now, if he say something just make up a lie on mama, then yeah, we can talk about it, you know. But if he said something truthful about her, hey, what I'm gonna get mad for, you know? And because I'm about doing the right thing and being truthful and being honest with one another. So in order for marriage to work, first of all, we all know God first, but you must be honest. If you don't like a certain thing, don't lie and pretend like you like. I remember people used to tell me, well, just and this before James, just act like you like it. Nope. Because if I act like I like it, when we get married, we gonna stay the same.
You gotta keep that same
I'm not shaking
energy.
and faking in my relationship. You know, and that's just the way that is. But
I can say I remember grandma, her mother, my Gramsy. I got 3 grandmothers. Well, I had 3. One died. So I remember my Gramsy. That's what I call her mother. It was something going on or something. But I remember her saying to my, I don't know if she said it to you or she said it to Daddy, that my papa, who just recently passed, told her, stay out them folks' marriage. And I was like,
I told her before with her.
Something was going. Rita did something.
No, I was finna whoop somebody for peeing in the bed. That's the incident you.
Oh, and, my brother, my big brother. I'm telling because you even put it on LJ.
What difference does it make?
And
James, and I was telling my mama my business. I talked to mama, blah 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 blah.
And if you don't know, the same relationship that I have with my mother is the same relationship she has with her mother. That's the same relationship that I have with my grandmother. Both of them. But that's just. We gonna talk, but that's gonna be.
But I was on the phone telling her my business, and I'm like, I had said I was gonna whoop him, and James, someone what I wasn't gonna do. I was hot because the kids they called back, so the children was the one being messy, cause he came home and got him, the older sister really. So anyway,
it wasn't me.
And I'm like, what I wasn't gonna do, and I was upset. So I was telling my mom. So and she on the phone, what? I come on and put him out of there, blah 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 blah. And her husband told her, Mom, get somewhere and sit down. You ain't got nothing to do that. That's James and Rita married, and James is a good husband. And she got somewhere to sit down.
Because if they got divorced, she gonna be back stuck with her daughter.
But,
Man,
baby, no.
I'm
But the point was, so
that
now take a listen to this here. Keep your family out.
And that was the point I was getting at.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, in which my mama loves him, you know, she loved him then, but this my child. So you have to keep family out your business because, hey, you back together, then you got this person mad at that person. So we got to learn to keep things to ourselves or write them down.
That's something my mama told me. I think I was in high school the first time she said to me. She was just like, it was in college.
Mm-hmm.
That dude I was with on my following year. She told me, she said, if you done with him, then you done. If you not done, shut up. She said, keep people out your business. She said, because if you come home, you telling me, your daddy, your mom, your grandma, she said your mama, but that's my grandma. Your grandma, everything that's going on, they walk around here mad at him, and now you done got over it, so you and him good, and your whole family mad at him. That's something she told me my freshman year of college. Right. And I've stuck to that ever since because when she said it to me, it ain't something I didn't know. I just never paid attention to it because I was in high school prior to that. But when she said it to me, it's I don't care how much I see people online airing out all their dirty draws, whatever the case is. I'm just like, y'all be so confused as to why the whole world seemingly has a problem with your relationship, but you go to Facebook about everything that happens. Because, hear me out. If you didn't tell me that John cheated on Mary, and I mean, if Mary didn't come tell me that John cheated on her and got an outside baby, I wouldn't know that John cheated on her and got an outside baby. I would not know that. Now you walk around here, you always got a problem with my man. Well, first of all, boo, you had the problem. You brought the problem to me. As your friend, I'm mad with you. Now you good. You want me to just turn it off? I can't turn it off like you turned it off. Because if it just playing devil's advocate, maybe it's something that I wouldn't accept it if I was you. Or I could be accepted, but because I'm not the one with the problem, and I'm probably over here miserable and single. So I want you to be miserable and single too. You have to be mindful of the things that you say to people.
That's right.
Because you'll get over something somebody else won't.
That's
or
right.
You can be the friend like me. It's a whole lot I'm not finna say. You're not finna cheat on me. You're not finna talk to me any kind of way. You dang sure not finna cuss me out. You're not finna put your hands on me. A lot of things I'm not finna tolerate.
And sure, I can't get no baby on you.
Oh, you definitely not finna do that because you for the streets. So, if in any inkling of that is going on, I'm out. You ain't gotta worry about me. I'm gone. Bye. No stress, no drama, no problems. If I got a friend, I got a few friends who are like that. They'll tolerate anything. If you tell me about it, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna listen because first thing I've learned to ask, do you want the listening jazz? Do you want the fix the problem jazz? Or tell me which jazz you want. See, because you just want me to listen to it, I'm going to listen to it. I'm not going to say a word. Because I know you're not going nowhere. Because I can tell by the way you talk to me about it, you're not going to go nowhere. And I'm probably going to go say something to Rita. Because baby, it wouldn't be me. But I'm going to leave you alone. Now, when I see you really done, then I'm going to get you all the way together. But I'm not going to. But I've had a friend who came and told me all her business. Anytime I got around her man, hey man, how you doing? Still hugging, still cool with him. Because you was venting. You're not ready to leave. You okay with what he doing. You say you're not okay with it, but you okay with what he doing. So why would I have a problem with him? But y'all got to learn how to be a good friend and have the right. Stop telling everybody. If you don't have a friend that's not gonna be, not gonna take sides, then you don't need to. Don't disclose your information because you want to tell people something. You get your feelings hurt. Then you want to get mad. You can't say about my man. Well, first of all, you said about your man. I just repeated because you notice we can say something about somebody, but somebody else said, "Oh, we finna throw hands." Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Learn how to hold your tongue.
Well, I got my little story, so I got two right quick before we get out here. I got one friend, and her husband was going through. I don't believe it was no cheating or anything, but she told her friend about it. And so when the couples got together, the friend was acting funny with her husband. And he noticed it. And so she said to me, so I wouldn't tell you. And I said, well, first of all, you ought to know me better than that. If you tell me something, I'm not going to act funny with him because I'm not that type of friend.
And she ain't going to tell him. She going to tell him on a podcast.
But I'm not.
I'm just playing.
Anywho, you got to learn how to receive the things that people tell you. And another thing, if you don't want it to go anywhere, why are you telling somebody? Everybody got a best friend, they say, that tells this. Okay, another incident. What was the other incident? I don't know, but the moral of the story is, don't tell it. When I was young, I used to write things down. Even somebody made me mad. So-and-so made me sick. I hate so-and-so, so-and-so. I wish I was a child, baby. So as a child, you do childish things. And that was about, that was about my parents, and I used to want them to do we can say, I'm going to put you in an old folk home. But it didn't happen because I loved them. But I was a child doing childish things. But I said that to say, you as an adult, if you can't take it to God only, you can write it down, ball up, put it in the garbage. Because you got to learn to keep your business to yourself. Because as she said, Mama, I ain't tell you nothing for you to say nothing. Okay. So, okay, well, you want to talk to me? Okay, I'll listen. Even when my mom had called me, when she get through, I said, well, do you want my opinion about it?
She gonna give it regardless.
No, I do not. If I ask you and you tell me no, I'm not giving it.
In that moment, then she gonna come back to me. Don't want to be
but
put on last week incident.
Do what?
Anyway, what you gonna say?
Oh, I gave you my opinion. I told you how I felt about it. Anyway, that ain't got nothing to do with marriage. That's something about a single person. Yeah, boo-boo.
Anyway.
And as I was saying, married people, keep your business. That's a thing my husband said. We're going to keep what goes on in our house. And therefore, if we keep it in our house, we don't have to worry about nobody else getting married. Because first of all, who take care of your husband and wife? Don't nobody outside, well, don't nobody outside our house take care of them. Let me correct that. Because you have some people do take care of them. But God has blessed us to work and do for ourselves. So at the end of the day, my suggestion to married people, live how God tells us to live as married people. One man, one woman. Not a man and a spare. And a woman, not a woman and a spare. Keep it real biblical, and you'll be all right. Well, the spare tire. That's the old saying. You don't know about that. You must know. You said, huh?
You said not a man in the spirit. Oh, you said,
right.
And then you said, but you said, and the woman, not a woman.
Not a woman. Yeah, well, vice versa. The man
got the woman spare.
Yeah, a woman. You don't need no two men. Men, you don't need no two women.
Wrapping it up. When it comes to a marriage, I'm just gonna speak on somebody who's desiring to be married and living my life in the accordance of wanting to be married for my future husband. You have to learn to be quiet. You have to be willing to sometimes bite your tongue. I'm gonna take one person, and she may not like that I'm gonna say it. Whenever she hears the video, I'm pretty sure she's gonna have something to say, but it won't be nothing now. I've seen my papa do a lot of yelling. The older I got, the more he yelled.
That's what he did,
baby. And it's just like, it just became like his natural tone. So the fact that it didn't phase you. I mean, it made a difference, but then you could tell when he really just talking all sideways. You just bring that back. And my grandma didn't say a word. She just be like, okay, Pete. Okay, Pete. Okay, Pete. Because I know one time, and I know somebody finna say I should have stayed in my lane. I know one time, he was saying something. He was all riled about. Couldn't find his socks. He was trying to get out the house, go cut some grass. He was all riled about something. And my grandma was like, Pete, I just said, and this is exactly how she was. I just said this right. He was just like, ah, I said, Papa, before I knew it. I yelled. I wasn't even trying to. I said, stop talking to my grandma like that. Out of line. I definitely was out of line. Was not my business. Who you think you yelling at? I don't know. I had a momentary relapse. And he gonna look at me. This my house. I said, you know what, you're right. Let me go to the back. because don't put me out. I'm looking at my grandma. Anyway, long story short, the socks were right there. What she said, but that man is spoiled. Okay? She got them socks. Put them on when he got on out the house. Hi, I'll be back. I said, bye. He going out the clothes. I looked at my grandma. I didn't say a word. But you know who I did call? I said, my papa finna catch these hands.
What did your mama
say? They said, mind your business. And it's like, mama used to it. That's how I talk. But my daddy had said something about how my papa was talking to my grandma. My uncle, and my grandmother's.
My husband, mind your business.
My grandmother's baby brother. He got all right. I think he called
no, he was working on my house. I said, it ain't your business.
He was mad. He was just like, he don't get talking about shit like that.
It ain't your business.
But my papa was not he's just so loud and
right.
His tone was so harsh. But I'm just like, but at the end of the day, you ain't finna say nothing to my grandma. I think my papa wants to go upside your head. That's just what that was. But I realized too, when it comes, there's a lot of stuff you're gonna have to be willing to take.
That's right.
And if you are fully committed to a person, you know them inside and out. Mm-hmm. You have no problem with telling them, hey, because we're not gonna always be perfect in a relationship, whether you married or not married. That's on both ends. You got to be willing to put their ego to the side, calm their attitude down, and sit it there. And that's something too that my daddy did with the marriage counseling with his cousin who he just married, the cousin of her husband that he married off, not married. He told them, don't ever get them leave the bedroom. What did that man say? Because when you leave the bedroom,
that's it.
Because that's your house. You tell me you ain't sleeping on the couch over here. I don't know where y'all get that from.
Keep your family out your bed. And then what the thing about it, he talked to them. Then he said for me to come in there. And as soon as I came in there, they were looking at each other smiling. Because what he said, what he had just said to them, I came back with. You know, at the end of the day, you got to realize
that you want unit, one
marriage to work. And even with the kids, like I told them too. No, they don't have any little bitty kids. I said, but your kids, if kids see they can divide parents, they will. You know, and I'm like I say, the disagreement we had in the car, I shut up. But it's
She
never,
handled him when they got home. I'm just
it's
playing.
never a case where they was allowed to divide us. Even so, because it was always ask your dad.
Yep.
And you know, then you know we practice the Lord's will because with the Bible says. So I remember one time LJ said, "Why we always got to ask your dad?" I said, "Because he your daddy." But let me tell you how it backfired on your dad. I would tell them to ask daddy. So they would ask him and they'll come say, "Well, dad told me to ask you," so I say yes. So then he'll get mad. Why you let him? Why you tell him to ask me? Man up, husband, and tell him no.
But that's something
if you didn't want
too
him to do it.
with us. If we ask one parent, whether or not they told us to go ask the other one, we asked that first parent and they said yes or no. If they said no and we like the answer, we couldn't go to the other parent. They get your tail
We
whooped.
stuck together.
Because it don't matter if the parents talked about it or not. Well, one of them that said, and that's the answer they gave us, it's rap. It's concrete now. Don't matter. Now, whether or not they go back on have a conversation, that's their business. Because then they can come to us and say, okay, well, listen, we talked about this was going on. But if that then a moment is no, okay, James, and James T, and she want to go sit their end down. Because ain't nobody trying to lose no teeth. Because it's called, that's something I was talking when I was young too, united front. Whatever daddy or mama say then and there, that's concrete.
Don't try to split it.
Whatever happened after that, because they're playing both sides, and I realize too that's kind of a race thing. You get your end toe up.
Get you beat down. We didn't play that. You know, we took care of you collectively, and you're not going to divide this family. And we meant that, and we stand on it now. Even if it was something, I'm going to say this and we can dip on out. Like, if I felt...
Second time she said
yeah, I have. I wouldn't then. If I felt that Jane was a little bit hard on them that I thought he should be, you know, we would go in the bedroom and talk about it. Because you may not see it all as the parent. And if the one parent fear, but you talk about it in the privacy of your own. You know what I'm saying? And then husband or wife, because he done told me, well, they were sitting, and I'm like, well, now since when you get through, thought about, okay, Jane was right. You know, because a lot of times you thinking, I'm right. I done said this law. But you just may not be, you know. And so you talk about it in the privacy of your own home. You know, where you privacy of your own bedroom or where you spend your time is separately from your children. And make sure, which my kids didn't, they not listening at the door. Because when they be asleep, it's time to go to bed. And we in that pillow talking or whatever, talking about things.
We weren't going to make that no one. We lived on the whole other end of the house. 3 hallways.
Eventually, not in the beginning. In the beginning, we was all in the same place.
That was just me then. We weren't old enough to do nothing.
But still, when I got pregnant, it wasn't just you.
Oh.
And the LJ
One
came
time.
around. Okay, so that's
But
it.
anyway, so one thing I can say, division won't just be from the outside. You got family, you got friends, you got frenemies, associates, enemies, but you also got your immediate family, your kids, witchcraft and stuff. Because of how, but that's all because of what
How
they
you
see.
raise them, that's right.
That's what they're seeing. So I'm gonna sum it up because we might go into another story. We don't know.
I might.
Okay.
So sum it up.
Summing it up, when it comes to a marriage, a God-fearing, built on God foundation marriage, be honest. Be willing to fold and bend. That does not mean being stupid. Be forgiving and understanding because we all need grace. Be committed. Be faithful. Be willing to grow separately and work on yourself separately and work on yourself together and grow together. People don't grow. Marriages don't. A true marriage don't grow apart.
Right.
If y'all get divorced, you weren't supposed, or you either didn't try hard enough, or you weren't supposed to be there from the jump. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe you was just there to make some babies. Case in point.
Let me say that.
My parents. So, did I miss something? That make some babies part through you?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was just talking about grandma and granddaddy made you Uncle Mike. They divorced. That's how I got 3 sets of grandparents. So,
It come with maturity. They was young and crazy.
yeah, they was young when they got together.
Your
But
mama said she want to say something. Okay.
The last word, this is the grandmother, Bobby and Pete, the pawpaw. Love is the most important thing. Jesus is love, but I want to say this. My husband told me one time we had an argument, and I went back and got in the other bed. He told me it's too many rooms in this house. You come back up here and get in my bed. So he said we got to get rid of some of these bedrooms.
Oh.
That's what my husband told me. So I said, it made me feel so good, y'all. My husband loved me, although the little argument we had, he said, too many bedrooms in this house, we got to get rid of
So
something.
you can't leave, huh?
Right. So he called me, he said, come on back up here in our bedroom. And I did, because I love my husband. Nothing, the argument was too bad for me to get out my
That's
bed.
right. It was crazy.
Have a good day.
And y'all know who she called? Her daughter told her daughter. They had got to and called, told me, and I went on like, Mama, where you going? Sit down somewhere. But he called me. Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm the fix-it daughter.
Ah! That's another part. I understand everybody don't have the same family dynamic that I do. And that's something I require a man to be family oriented, because my family is a close knit family. And our immediate family is not just, me and my kids. We ain't got no kids. My parents and us. It's myself, my siblings, my parents, my grandparents, my parents' sibling, and their kids. It's our immediate family is like 45 people deep. That's just what it is.
First, second, third.
First,
that's
second,
not a
third
name
cousin.
for
It's
us.
really like 300 if we gonna be honest.
If it's
Because
love, it's love. It runs deep.
my grandmother had so many siblings, and my grandfathers and we are all like that, and that's how we were raised. Your first cousin were raised as your siblings, and so when it comes to a marriage, and I tell any guy, you need to have your own relationship with my family, because I want my own relationship with yours. Because in the event, I'm not saying somebody gonna be in our business, but if I need to go talk to your mama about, listen, you raised this man, or your daddy, you raised this man. Tell me something. Am I misunderstanding this? Because your parents should know that both of us well enough to be like, hey, listen. Because that's how my parents are. When I got mad at the guy I was talking to, or whatever the case was, I didn't tell them everything. But some stuff that I did, I'm just like, okay, well, y'all know me. And they'll know that. And my exes have her phone number. It didn't change that forever. My best friends have her phone number. She got their phone number. And she'll say something. My mom don't care. My grandparents the same way. I'm saying as far, not like that. I'm saying like when me and
honest.
me and my best friend had gotten into it so bad one time. At that time, she didn't know why the argument was so bad as it was. I'm talking about time.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay. And she on the phone with us on 3-way. Going in, I'm just like, yep.
But good thing about the best friend didn't tell me why.
Yeah.
But I want to say this, when she's talking about that parents thing, the relationship that I had with my in-laws. Baby, James.
How we get to another story?
I don't know, because you kept talking, but when it came to them, they was always on my side. That's your wife. Daughter-in-law right. Daughter-in-law this, daughter that. So I said that to say people get to know, like people say in-laws, no, we are a loving family. But you come from love. So, we can't be partial. You have to be honest with one another. With that being said,
thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of Man's Glory, where we keep it real biblical. And on that note, I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you've heard something that you can address to your life. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are on all of your streaming podcasts, and we will see you next week.
God willing.